Hello students, hello viewers. This is Ronajit Kundu at the Banarsidas Chandiwala Institute of Hotel Management Bakery and Confectionery Lab. We are here to do some practical demonstrations, and today's topic is this molded chocolates. So when we are talking about the chocolates, we will understand a little bit about the origin, what is this compound and carbohydrate chocolates, the different types of chocolates, the latest versions, in the sense that there could be different flavored chocolates which can come in, which are being available in the market these days, and how to store the chocolates, and then how do we melt the chocolates. I have made a lot of preparations out here. Okay, and then tempering. Tempering is one word which is so much associated with chocolates. We will try to understand that. And then after that we'll have chocolate molds, the types of the chocolate molds. I mean the silicon type or the use and throw type, okay, and the plastic types or the polycarbonate types, okay. And then we will understand prevention and care of the molds which we have out here. These are the polycarbonate molds, how to take care of them. So it is very important that once we are working with in the laboratory or in the industry, it is very important that we have to take care of the equipments also, because if they do not perform well, it won't help us. We will have to do so much of time is invested on them to get it replaced or to get it repaired. So it is very much advisable and suggested that we should take care of the equipments, okay, be it a small equipment or a big or a large equipment. And then we have the molded chocolate. We will do a sample. We will do how to make the molded chocolates. I very much understand that in today's world there are so many of the students who are already started making the chocolates, but yes, we can develop and we can refresh our knowledge. Okay, I believe even if you are very expert in molded chocolates, alright, you can still learn something. I am also still learning. When I see the videos, when I attend shows, I am also learning. So we have the next point is the ganache. The ganache, which is not a part of the molded chocolates, but yes, you can have this ganache with the understanding of the ganache, because it might be required that you need to fill in the chocolates with the ganache thing. And apart from this, the ganache or the truffle, the chocolate truffle which we will make here, that will help you in getting the cake. So in somewhat sense, like when we are doing molded chocolates, there are so many technical terms associated with it, and then there are things which are very much helpful for other or for making other items also. And then we'll have to see how to make chocolate shavings. Now, chocolate shavings is something which you find on the flakes, the chocolate flakes, which we find it on the Black Forest cakes. And then demolding and the storing. Once we mold the chocolates, we put in the fridge, we put in the chiller or freezer. We will see how do we need to take them out. And then the storing part. Once we finish making the chocolates, how do we store that thing? So and just to let you know, it is not that only I'm doing this job. There is the laboratory assistant, Mr. Ajmal is there, Muhammad Ajmal is there. He is also helping me with this video shoot, and of course other team members will be also there for the editing purpose. So I hope you will be enjoying this video, but then the focus is on the molded chocolates. So first have a look at a little bit of the equipments of the table, how I have arranged the table. So we have the offset spatula here, and then the palette knife, okay, a little bit of the spoon, and then this is the scraper which the painters also use it on the wall. This is very important equipment for me, okay. And then a scraper. This is a scraper, and a scissor is there, and a knife, and then this is the laser chocolate, laser thermometer which we have to measure the temperature. And this is a small plate where I think I'll be putting some melted chocolate over it, and then put it in the fridge, and then take it out and scrape it in front of you to show how we are doing this chocolate flakes. And then there are the molds out here. The different types of molds out here, different shapes. Okay, so first of all, as per the topic, we have to understand the origin of it. So the origin of the chocolate, if we go through the Wikipedia, if we go through the history books, it says that chocolate was developed in the year 450 BC, and then initially by the Aztecs, that means in South America, with the Mexicans, they used to have this chocolate as a bitter liquid. But slowly, during the 19th century, the Americans and the English, they started developing a lot of chocolate items, and they added sugar to it. And then it was the item for the rich class, and then slowly it came down to the middle class. And by 20th century, every household, almost in the Americas, every household was using chocolate. And then even chocolate was used as an aphrodisiac. It was used as an invigorating, just like tea. It has caffeine. So chocolate also has something which boosts up your energy level. And then it was used in the soldiers. It was distributed among the soldiers also. So chocolate is from prehistoric times. I mean, it has been so important for us. And today we will be doing a few of the items which is beneficial and which is important for the students to know, because these are things which are expected in the industry. And then we spoke a little bit about the origin. And now the compound chocolate and couverture chocolate. So the compound chocolate is something which is not which is a chocolate which is widely available in the market these days. It will cost around 170 rupees, Indian rupees, to 200 rupees a kilo maybe for the dark chocolate. And then if it is a couverture, that means it is original chocolate. The cocoa content is little, is different from what we have in the compound. Compound is normally the byproduct of the original chocolates which we are having. So the original chocolate, that is called the couverture chocolates, which will be very expensive, maybe 800 rupees to 1000 rupees a kilo in these times, or maybe even more. And only international players are there, like Strawberry, and there are some from Malaysia and Thailand also. But then local chocolates are also okay to an extent. Excuse me. We can work onto them. We can still work with those chocolates, but taste is, yes, there's a big difference in taste and big difference in price also. And then compound chocolates are much easier to work with. Couverture chocolates you will have to temper. Now tempering, when we use this word tempering, we have to understand what this tempering means. Tempering means like we have the melted chocolate, and then you see the melted chocolate, and we have to put it on the table, and using a spatula we got to rub this on this and bring the temperature down. So what happens is the molecules of the chocolate, when we temper, the molecules of the chocolate are aligned. Initially the chocolate, if this is a chocolate molecule, the molecules are aligned in an opposite state. But when we do the tempering, they become like this. So that is the difference, that is the importance in tempering, and it is helpful, it is a must, it is a requirement for the couverture chocolates. That helps in bringing stability to the chocolate. That means when you are doing some chocolate garnishes and all, it is very important that we require the tempering. And tempering is nothing but the alignment of the molecules of the chocolate. That gives a stability and that gives a shine also. So when we do some chocolate garnishes, we need to temper them. So tempering, which we can do it on the table, and with an offset spatula, you can rub it on the table. Or what you can do is just melt the chocolate in your plastic bowl, and you can, with a spatula, you can toss and turn. So it says around 37 degrees centigrade. So the original tempering will be something like 29 degrees, 30 degrees. But since this is a compound chocolate, it is not much effective. But we have to understand what this tempering means. So here I am of what I am supposed to do on the table, I can do it out here also. So once I do the tempering, this chocolate I will be putting it a little bit here on this sheet, on this polycarbonate sheet, so that I will show the flakes a little later. Flakes for the Black Forest cakes. And side by side, I will show you how to do the ganache also. So for the ganache, we have this cream, the cooking cream, not the whipping cream. So the ratio is 1:2. 1 part of cream to 2 parts of chocolate. 1 part of cream to 2 parts of chocolate. So this is the chocolate out here, which is already was already on the double boiler. It's in this stage. So it's very easy to melt, that is why. So you can just chop the chocolates in small pieces and you boil the cream and put it over here, so you can get a ganache. But then to make it much more quicker, what I did was, there was some hot water, double boiler, and I put the chocolate here. Okay, the chocolate melts on its own, and then what I do is I put the induction stove on. Alright, this is the cooking cream. The fat content is around 18 to 20%, and then it is so thick that we will have to continuously stir it. It should not stick to the bottom. And once this comes to a rolling boil, it will come to a bubble. You will put this plane over this chocolate and you will stir it. So your ganache will be ready. Okay, so by the time this, I can see from here that whether the chocolate will mold, the cream is boiling or not. So what I'll do is, this is almost tempered. So what I'll do is, in this sheet, okay, I'll pour a little bit. Right. Alright, so I'll keep this outside for some time, and then after 3-4 minutes I'll keep it in the fridge. I'll be back here to the cream. The cream starts to boil. Ajmal, camera.
हाँ ठीक है.
So you see that is bubbling, the cream is bubbling, it's pretty much hot. So at this stage what we do is we put it over. You simply put this on the, sorry. the flakes, it can go inside the chiller. And this is also the melted chocolate which we have. And we have some melted white chocolate also. So very often the students find a little difficulty in melting the white chocolate. Yes, of course. So melted chocolate, what we suggest is like for white chocolates, we have to melt this very slowly, the very slow heat. Preferably the melting chocolate. How to melt the chocolate? For the melting of the chocolates, what we can do is we can put it on the microwave also. And if we think that the chocolate requires around 1.5 minutes to melt the chocolate in a defrost stage in the microwave, we have to do it in maybe 1.5 minutes can be broken up into 30 seconds, 30 seconds, and 30 seconds. So after 30 seconds, you will take it out from the microwave and take it returned and put it again once back. Or else, with many of the chefs do not prefer the microwave and they prefer the double boiler. So heat up some water, not boiling hot, because this is plastic. This can also create some problem. This can melt. So we suggest that you heat up a little bit of water and then put the stove off. So whatever heat is there, it will be slowly. You see, it is so smooth. Yeah. Alright. So let's come back to the whiteboard and we try to find out whether we have missed out any points or not. So origin we have discussed. Okay, 450 BC. Compound and coverture we understood. Types of chocolates is a milk chocolate, which is normally brown, and which is the dark chocolate which we are using here, and of course the white chocolate also, which is here. Okay, so white chocolate, what we will do is melt it, and we will take these molds, put a little bit of white in the beginning inside the molds. Okay, and then we will leave it to rest or put in the chiller, and then what we will do is put some fruit and nuts, and we will put this dark chocolate. So there are major 3 types of chocolate. That is the milk chocolate, which is got a sort of milk and dark chocolate mixed to it, and then this is the white chocolate. Again, just to say, milk chocolate is more of the cocoa compounds, cocoa butter, and is not a pure chocolate. Okay, so this is the major 3 types. But as of now, if we are talking about the latest versions, there are different companies which have come up with like the orange chocolate or the strawberry chocolate or the mango chocolate, which has got flavor and color into it. So if it is a mango chocolate, your thing will be like the mango color, the orange color, and we can make all those different pralines, or we can make different chocolates from it. So here we are. The white chocolate is almost done. The temperature, we are not. This is not a coverture chocolate where we need to change the temperature. 36 is fair enough. 29, 32 is for the original chocolates. For the compound chocolates, not much of a problem. This is the ganache which we are done. So with the white chocolate, what we do is we take a butter paper. And of course, butter paper is also called the silicone paper, and of course it is called the parchment paper. I always insist that different names, but same thing. Yeah. This is the traditional type, because I am from the old school. Now what happens is these days they will take a disposable plastic and make a cone out of it. But I still prefer to make it from a butter paper. Here we go. So we have some white chocolate, and white chocolate is ready to be piped, so that once the chocolate comes out, you will be having two shapes and quite a nice look. It looks. Alright, here we go. whiteboard, if you have a look, we said that in the beginning of the class we will be understanding the different types of molds, the material. So what we do is we pipe a little bit. I can show it here. Another design we can do, that is like tap a little bit, and with this so we have two molds ready. We'll put this in the chiller. So we spoke about the origin, we spoke about the compound and the curvature, the types of chocolates, that is the milk, dark and white. The latest version, that is the flavored chocolates also. And the storage of the chocolates, we normally we keep it outside. It's not necessary that we have to keep it in the fridge. We can keep it outside, but if it is very hot, like Delhi summers, maybe in the month of May, June, so in that time we can keep it in the fridge. Okay, but we have to see that it is the water does not get inside. Okay, no moisture gets inside. Otherwise, in the laboratory we can just keep it in the outside. No issues on that. So now, how to make the chocolates, which we discussed. Like some chefs prefer to do it on the double boiler. Some chefs prefer to do it in the microwave. But as for myself, my personal opinion is I do it in the bowl. Only thing is microwave, you need to be a little cautious that the heat does not go in one go. The heat does not penetrate the chocolate in one go, or else the chocolate is burnt. No, we will not be able to work with it. And then we discussed about the tempering also. Tempering, we can do it on the table. You take a palette knife or an offset spatula and you just keeping it on the table, rubbing it on the table. But tempering, when we are doing the tempering, we have to understand what is the intention of doing the tempering. So first of all is the alignment of the molecules, from which the chocolate gets strength. Like if you do some chocolate garnishes, so you get the strength, and then you get a good shine also. So that is it. Chocolate molds, the type. The chocolate mold, the type. Yes, this is the polycarbonate molds, and then we have the silicon molds also. The silicon molds, which is there for the garnishes, and then there are the cheapest ones, that is the plastic ones, which is like you use it for some time and then you need to discard them. But these are the polycarbonate ones. They are international. Anywhere we go, most of the people, they are working on these, and of course silicon is also there. But I personally like the polycarbonate ones because the silicon ones also, it wobbles. Okay, when you do it, you use the scraper. The silicon ones, it wobbles and you don't get a nice effect. So it's very clumsy for me. So I prefer this. Okay, so about the cleaning of these polycarbonate molds, the cleaning is usually done with a piece of cotton. This cotton looks brown, but this was white because I was cleaning myself. So we have to use cotton. We don't wash in water. Never ever do we have to put these chocolates in water, these molds in the water after using. What we do is normally, if this is unclean, if you have some light remainings of the chocolate, just take a piece of cotton and keep on rubbing it, no water. Okay. In case cotton is not available, excuse me, if in case cotton is not available, what we can do is we can take a tissue paper roll, okay, and then you fold it nicely, make it into a small cotton ball, and this can also be used. But most importantly, the cotton is the thing which we need to do. Okay, so we have two molds inside the fridge where we want to put some molded chocolates. But apart from that, we have another mold where we have this design of the flower and the leaves. So what we do is, of course, we have some molded melted chocolate out here. What we can do is we can put this chocolate in here and we can make some designs. We can have some chocolate shapes and keep it in the fridge where, and whenever we want to use it, we can use it for the pastries and cake garnishes. So here we go. So once we are making this chocolate at home or in a commercial place, or for your understanding, we need to understand the tools which are required to make this chocolate. For making the molded chocolate, the right tools for anything, we need the right tools. That is how you see we have the leaves and flowers which we can use it, okay, for the garnishes. And then Ajmal is giving me these two ones, okay. So this is like we have some roasted nuts and we have some raisins. So what we can do is we put in here. After that, we need to poke them so that it gets to the bottom. tap a little bit so that no air bubbles are there when we demold the chocolates. So this gets back to the chiller also, and we will have that other thing, the flower and the leaves which we had put it. We will try to get that, and we will show you like how how to demold that chocolate and how do we get that shape. So let's come back to the whiteboard and see if we have missed out anything. So first of all, we have to understand, thank you, origin, compound and coverture, types, yes, latest version, storage, how to melt the chocolates, tempering, chocolate molds, the types, the 3 types, the fruit and nut, the molded chocolate which we have just done, ganache, yes, ganache we have done it here, it's in here. The chocolate shavings, yes, the chocolate shavings, I will show you ground color of water. And then the demolding and the storing. So what happens is I believe that it could have been in the fridge for some more time, but it's a little early for me to take it out. But see, I don't really know whether it will be coming out or not. Only thing with the chocolate is what I know, as per my experience, the more you put it in the chiller, okay, and this is the summer days, so it is much more beneficial. It will come out much more easily. In the winter season, not much of difficulty. But in the summertime, at least we have to give some time for the chocolates to really set inside the molds. But still, we will give a try and we will try to find out. If it doesn't, we will just put it back in the fridge. Because the minimum time is half an hour, but then let's see, let's try it out. Okay, so it needs more chilling, so it gets back to the fridge. So no need to fight across. It goes back to the fridge, as simple as that. So as for the chocolate shavings, you see that this is set. So I will show you how to make the chocolate shavings. So you have a polycarbonate or a sheet like this, or sometimes you can find a tile, a marble tile. This tile I am talking about, this tile. You can use the tile and you can pour it over, put it in the chiller, and then take a sharp knife, and you have to put your support from your stomach or belly, and then if you can see, hold it against and like this, yeah, and drag your. So how I'm holding the knife like this and a 90 degrees, okay, and straight towards your body. So we have these chocolate flakes which we can take a plate, and we avoid touching this place because our body temperature will have the chocolates melted. So it is very important that we handle it with this knife and we just slide it down and we take it and collect it in a ball, and this goes back to the fridge, and then at a later stage we can be using for the Black Forest pastries or the cakes. So students, just to remind you, along with the chocolates we did, with the molded chocolates we are doing some ganache and we are doing some garnishes also. So this is how we do it. But then we are about to end this class. So just let me tell you that these are the different ways where we can use this chocolate. Hope you understood, and hope I have tried to give you my best, and I have been very happy to doing this. I hope you will have your comments below, or you send me your questions, and I would be very much happy to answer them out. So today's class for molded chocolates is getting over. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice evening. Okay, and let's stay safe, and may God bless India. Cheers. Okay, students. So we are back to this class, molded chocolates. This molds have come back from the freezer, and then we will try to demold it. So demolding, we take a tray or some butter paper, okay, and then we strike garnishes out here. So the bottom line of the story is, if we want to demold, we have to put the molds into the chiller for quite some time. For winter it is okay, maybe 15-20 minutes, and for the summers a minimum of half an hour is required. So let's see. And this is a diamond shape. So much of sound. Okay, so it's come out clean. So you see this chocolate, this is the white one, and then it's got the base is black. Okay, so we have these three types. And for the ganache, just let me explain it to you. Like you pipe the black, the dark chocolate or the chocolate you want. You put it into the molds, and then set it in the chiller for some time. Take it out, and then pipe the ganache, and then on top put the same chocolate or some other chocolate, and then you can fridge it for some time. So this is the end of the class. We have all these chocolates out here. Hope you guys were here to taste and sample these. But unfortunately, due to the pandemic situation, we are not able to. Hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed in delivering this session on molded chocolates. See you again and have a nice evening. Bye bye.